I remember the first time I experienced anxiety. I didn't know what it was, and I thought I was having a heart attack, but I wasn't having a heart attack. I realized afterwards that it was just life catching up with me. I remember one evening I was just sitting in my apartment. I had an energy drink early in the day. I was getting some work done, and all of a sudden my chest just felt very tight. And I thought that I was having a heart attack. I thought that I was having a heart attack, and I was afraid to tell anyone because I didn't want to spook anyone else, which is probably silly looking back at it. For a moment, I just had to sit and pause. I just had to sit and sit still with myself for a little bit. And over time, that evening, I realized that life was just catching up with me. That I didn't take enough time for myself to just kind of slow down, and the pressures of work, the pressures of life, everything that had been going on in my life at that point in time just caught up with me, and it was rough. It was rough. Work at the time was, the job that I had was very stressful. Through that time period, though, it taught me the importance of slowing down. At that time in my life, also, I don't want to say I was caught up in the grind culture, but I was unsatisfied with the work that I was doing. I was unsatisfied with my life. And, of course, I had this idea that I got to get out of this. And the only way I got to get out of this is, after my 9 to 5, I got to be doing that. I got to be doing my 5 to midnight, right? So this was a time period in my life where it was characterized by doing way too much. I get off work. I apologize for the wind, guys. Apparently I picked the best day to come out here. I would get off of work and I would, have some coffee, have an energy drink, and I would get straight into doing something else, staying busy, because I felt that I had to, right? I felt that I had to stay busy. I felt like the only way that I would get out of that, position in my life was to be busy. This was also a period of my life where I was sacrificing sleep. I was going without sleep many times, thinking that, I was hearing the wrong thing, the motivational videos on YouTube. Sleep is for the weak. You got to keep the grind going. I was listening to all that stuff, guys. And, again, though there may be some truth to that, for the most part, you got to have sleep. If you don't, it will catch up with you. Life will catch up with you the same way. Again, I realized that it was time to slow down. It was time to slow down. No matter what you're going through in life, you're going through tough times, you got a lot going on, you feel overwhelmed. Be okay with taking a moment to just sit down. Be okay with taking a moment to sit down, just quiet the noise, and have some time for yourself. Again, if you don't have that, life is going to catch up with you, and it'll force you to take it. It'll force you to take it through the lack of health. You got to treat your health important. You can't be going without sleep. You can't just be going in overdrive all the time, 100% all the time, or 110% all the time. That will destroy you. Burnout will destroy you. All these things that we deal with in our personal lives, if we don't take time to just, quiet time, time to get out on a day like this and walk, time to reflect on our lives, to assess what worked, what won't work, what's going good, what's not going good, just good mental time for your soul, your mind and your spirit. Life will force that upon you. And, if unfortunately for me, it was only anxiety, but it could have been a lot worse. It can be a lot worse. It could have been a heart attack. It could have been a stroke. It could have been something just created by the stress that I was going through and not taking time for myself to step back and breathe. And so it could have been a lot worse. So be sure to emphasize that, guys. Be sure to emphasize that. Emphasize time alone, time for yourself, mental time to just clear your mind, to have some clarity where you're not always thinking about what's ahead. You're not always worrying about something going on. You're not always thinking about the future, thinking about the past. Just time to be in the present. I think that's the important thing. You gotta just have some time in the present. If you don't take that, life will force it upon you. So yeah, we're at the start of another week, or whenever you're watching this video. I like to do these talks on Sundays just to kind of reflect, see how you guys are doing. I hope you all are doing well. As I always say, I hope you're taking care of yourselves, your mental health, your families, all those who are depending on you, but that you're also taking time for yourself. Be sure to be sure to take time for yourself and know when it's time to slow down, know when it's time to just sit back and breathe. Hope you guys have a great week. I hope that whatever is coming ahead, that you can handle it. And throughout this week, just try to remember that. Take time for yourself. Take time for yourself. Slow down. Take a break. Block off a few minutes in the day. We talk about how much time we don't have for important things, but you cannot neglect your health. Sometimes, I get it. I was the same way. I wanted to keep going. No matter how stressful things were. And this is how it was in that time period. I just wanted to keep going, keep my foot on a throttle, which is important in life, but at certain points you got to know when it's time to step back. At certain points you got to know when it's time to turn the vehicle off and just sit quiet for a moment. Anyways, I hope you guys have a great week, and I'll catch up with you next time.